Hi everyone, I'm Sharon Satchwell Henry, Investment Advisor at NCB Capital Markets, and today we'll be looking at some investment options for young people in Jamaica. First, we're going to start by highlighting the difference between savings and investments. Alright, so when we talk about savings, this is you usually have a goal in mind, like for a house deposit or to buy a car or for educational purposes, or just to have money so you can invest in the future.
And this is normally done using the banking system, just a regular bank
Regular
account?
savings account, checking account, or a fixed deposit.
So how beneficial is a savings account?
Well, it's really a medium to acquire funds rather than having it under your mattress. It's safer and there's some little interest to be had.
Okay. And someone was telling me once that some savings are insured.
All right, so with the JDIC, up to $500,000 of your funds are invested per account.
Okay.
All right, so when we talk about investment, this is basically using some of your monies to put into other assets that can grow in value, like stocks or mutual funds or even real estate property.
But what if I don't have any money to invest? Where do I start?
And you know, that's really a common misconception that you need money to invest.
So you don't need money to invest?
I mean, you need money, but you can start with as little as 50,000 Jamaican dollars.
So a little bit?
Yes. If you can manage to put aside at least $5,000 per month, that's $60,000 after a year.
Okay.
And oftentimes we indulge in spending that is just not necessary. We go online to buy the pair of shoes that we don't need. We go to have a drink with friends and we buy one too many drinks. So there are sacrifices that we can make to ensure a brighter financial future.
Okay. So basically you're saying if I'm saying I want to invest and I don't have any money up front, I can start with as little as $50,000 and I can take that in stages. So sacrificing some of the unnecessary spending or the extra spending, within a year I can have the amount of money to start investing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And consistency is key.
Okay.
So don't just put down the $50,000 and leave it forever, but try to add to it consistently.
So basically I'll be developing a habit
A
every
habit
month.
of, exactly.
Okay, so that's the trick.
It really boils down to making the sacrifices now to ensure a better financial future.
Okay, Shari, so what are the various options that I have to invest after I've saved this $5,000 per month for a year and I have the $60,000 now? What are my options?
All right, so first we're going to look at unit trust, and this is recommended for the new investor. Unit trust is a pool investment of funds, right? That is diversified. So this gives an investor with not a lot of money the opportunity to be in a pooled fund and benefit from the diversification of the fund. So whatever dividends or capital gains that the fund will have, that will be contributed to the fund itself.
Okay, so basically the persons, what you call them, investment,
The portfolio managers.
the portfolio managers basically get other persons that are similar to me in terms of just coming into investing and pool all our monies together, and then they just diversify by buying different stocks.
Basically, and based on the mandates of the portfolio. So for example, you may have a unit trust that invests in the stock market. So for the investor who is not keen on stocks or you don't know which stocks to buy or when to sell, you can participate in a unit trust that invests in the stock market and let the portfolio managers do the work for you.
Okay, that sounds pretty simple. Apart from a unit trust, what else can I use as an avenue to invest my money?
All right, so we also have bonds. So essentially what bonds are, they're a fixed income instrument. So like the government or a company can borrow money from investors, promise to pay them a particular interest rate for a particular period of time. Usually interest payments are made semi-annually.
So that's basically set.
It's set.
Like you're giving somebody a loan.
You know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah.
For example, 10 years, paying 8% per year,
Yes.
every half year.
Sure money.
Sure money. So if you invest, say, $10,000, paying 10% per year, that will be $1,000 every year. Semi-annual payments will be $500. It's
Yes.
as simple as that.
Wow. So that's bonds, right?
Yes.
What are some of the characteristics of a bond?
All right, so for bonds, as I mentioned before, so we have the face value. And essentially what the face value refers to is the amount that you're going to get when the bond matures. We also have the
coupon rate?
coupon. So the coupon rate is actually the rate that is promised on the bond. So in the first example, 10%.
What about the coupon date?
So the coupon date, this just basically states exactly when your interest payments will be made to you.
And there's also maturity date and issue price.
So the maturity date of the bond is the end date that you're going to get back your principal investment. The price of the bond refers to what price the issuer is selling the bond to the investor at.
Okay, so basically, what is the benefit of using a bond over the unit trust?
For the bonds, you benefit from the direct income of the bond. So for example, if the bond is paying 8%, the 8% goes to you, the investor.
Okay. You have spoken about unit trusts for person just getting involved in investments. You also spoke about bonds, which are basically a fixed amount over a set period of time. Are there any other investment options available to persons who are interested in investing their money?
Actually, this one is my favorite.
Which one?
The stock market.
Oh, wow, why?
So essentially what you're doing, you're buying ownership into a company. So for example, I may not be able to I may not have the funds to buy a bank like a NCB or to buy a company like a Grace Kennedy, but guess what? If I buy shares into the company, believe it or not, I am a part owner.
Okay, so you're a shareholder, that's what they call it?
I'm a shareholder in the company, yes.
Okay. So why is it that you prefer this? This have a higher return than the other two?
All right, so for example, when you buy shares in a company, right, there are two benefits ideally. So you have the company can pay dividends. So for dividend payments, this is basically cash flow that the company may pay out to the investors based on the profit that the company makes, right? So it'll be similar to something that you'll get on like what we call interest on a savings account.
Yes.
But the part that I love is the capital gain.
What is the capital gain?
All right, so the capital gain is the increase in the value of the stock that you buy over time.
Okay.
So for example, say you spent $100,000 to buy some shares and the stock price appreciates over time. After a while, that $100,000 will be worth more than $100,000.
Appreciate meaning it gets higher?
It's increasing, yes. It increases in value. Yes.
Okay, so if you buy some stocks using your $100,000 and the stock is say $10 for one.
Yes.
And probably a year time.
So for example, yes, so if it's $100,000 and
yes.
it's $10 per share,
yes.
then that will get you what, 10,000 units?
I'm not sure. Let me get my calculator.
10,000 units.
10,000 units.
Exactly. And if it moves from $10 per share to $15 per share, that 10,000 units will now be worth $150,000.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Wow.
But this is all based on the performance of the company.
Yes. So, you know, the company might perform well sometime, but it might not perform well another time.
Yes. And the truth is, this is why stock investment is really something that you invest in long term. Because companies are going to have bad quarters, bad results, good results. But in the long term, the stock price will appreciate.
So that's a general rule of thumb.
That's the general rule of thumb.
Investing in stocks is best for a long term.
It's best for long term investment.
And if you leave it there for 5 years, it's a must that over that 5 years you might have fluctuation, but it will be definitely higher, way higher than what you.
Nothing is guaranteed, but it should be.
All right, so I have the $50,000. Where are the $60,000? I say $5,000 every month for a year. Where do I take it? What are my options? And walk me through the process of actually, what would I need to actually start being an
investor?
An investor.
All right, so the account opening process is very simple. You can go to any broker in Jamaica. Several brokers, NCB Capital Markets, that is where I work.
Okay.
You have JMB, you have VM Wealth, you have Sagicor, you have Scotia. So there are brokers across Jamaica. Different companies will have different accounts opening mandates. For us, ID, TRN, proof of address. That's it.
ID,
TRN, proof of address.
Proof of address.
Yes.
And the money.
And the money.
So walk with the money when I come in?
Walk with the money when you come in. Or you can walk with your checkbook.
Okay.
Nice big check.
So for instance, if I have it in my savings account.
If you have it in a savings account, we can do a simple transfer.
Simple transfer, because some of these persons don't like walking with large sums of money.
Not recommended, actually.
Okay. All right, so I come in, I sign up all these, how long the process takes, and when can I actually say that it has started?
All right, so depending on the trafficking branch, this process may take 20 minutes. And after that, you invest your money and watch it grow.
So it's definitely same day you can basically see.
Same day.
Same day.
Yeah, same day you
Okay.
can start the investment.
And you were alluding to the fact that you preferred stocks. Unit trust is for those that are just starting.
Just starting, you're not so
Not-
off with the market.
Yes, and the bonds, which is like a sure fixed amount over a set
Yeah,
period
so the
of
bonds
time.
are mostly for persons who are, you're retired, you don't want to take any risk. You want your income flow to come in that you can depend on.
Okay. Give us some examples of our Jamaican stock market. I heard that they have been performing very well.
Actually, and I think we're privileged to be a part of the #1 stock exchange in the world.
We are the #1 now?
Yes, we
Jamaica?
are. Jamaica, our Jamaican stock market.
You mean when you compare to all
In the world.
like in global
The world.
against all the big countries?
The world. All right, so let me give an example of how the stock market has been performing. And I just picked out several stocks. Not necessarily recommendations to buy these stocks at this time, but just based on the performance at the start of the year.
These are the high performing stocks, some of them.
Some of the high performing stock. So I don't know if you would have heard about Wigton Wind Farm.
Yeah, man,
It's an
that
IPO
was-
that came out in April.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, for Wigton Wind Farm, if you had invested $100,000 in that stock, guess how much it would be worth today?
So if you had invested $100,000, when was it? In
April,
May?
May.
April, May. Probably you'd have 110, 115.
Today,
Today
it
in
will be
July.
worth $178,000.
No, those figures are incorrect.
You can check the Jamaica Stock Exchange website. Believe you me, they are correct.
So you mean over the April, May, June, July, 3-month period,
78%.
78% in 3 months?
Yes, believe you me.
Wow, that's a lot.
Just some other highlights for other stocks. So for example, Carib Cement, if you had invested $100,000 in Carib Cement at the beginning of the year, today it will be worth $183,800. If you had invested $100,000 in Sagicor at the start of the year, today it will be worth $152,000.
$152,000. So basically 52% increase
Exactly.
since the start of the year.
For the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the company, if you had invested $100,000 at the start of the year, it will be worth $278,000 today.
So it will be more than double your
More-
money
That's what
in the
I
6
don't
months?
even know how much percentage that's exactly.
That's a lot. Are these figures correct?
These figures are actually correct, Lestine. Which is why the stock market is my favorite. There are real opportunities, there are real gains to be had on the stock market.
Do you have any figures for like Wesinco? I know a lot of persons were asking about Wesinco.
Wesinco, yeah, I think I have something for Wesinco here. Yeah, so Wesinco appreciated by over 72% year to date. So for example, if you had invested $100,000, it will now be worth $172,490.
So, Shari, what are you saying? Can I skip the unit trust? Can I skip the bonds and just get to the real deal? Because this is like where it's all happening.
A diversified portfolio is important, Lestine. So you'd want to have a little of both into your portfolio based on your risk appetite. The stock market is mostly for aggressive investors, but the bonds and unit trust is mostly for investors who are more moderate to conservative, depending on the type of unit trust.
Okay, so basically don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Not in one basket.
Have some in the unit trust, a little in bonds, and you can set aside a little for the stock market.
Exactly. And as I mentioned before in the presentation, unit trust, you can actually be a part of a unit trust that invests in the stock market and you're actually benefiting from the stock market, but not choosing 1 or 2 stocks in your portfolio.
All right. Thank you for sharing with us, Shari. Can you give our viewers some information on how they can contact you if they want to probably open some investment options with you?
No problem. So I am at NCB Capital Markets, 127 Nutswood Boulevard branch. I can be contacted at 876-277-3949. I'm also available on WhatsApp, so feel free to send me a message and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with us, Shari. I feel like a raindrops. This is the
Thank
rain
you,
you were
Jesus.
talking about?
Thank you, Jesus. Send down the rain.
It's blessing.
I feel so. Well, I feel nervous and it's just turn of the year. Jada, mommy's on camera. You can't.
Your mommy's a star now, right?
Jada, your mommy's nervous.
Once again.